My name is John Stewart, and I'm a story pirate. Arr.
There are, from what I am told, booger monsters.
What?
Booger monsters.
Oh no! What am I gonna do about this booger monster?
Ask snot what you can do for your client. Ask what your client can do to snot.
What's special about the Pirates is that they take these stories and they just bring them to full-fledged, insane, magnificent life.
I remember the first time I saw the Story Pirates. It was my first weekend in America, so I'd done 1 week's work on The Daily Show. I couldn't believe how good it was. I went to quite a rough school, and without art education, I'm not sure I'd be doing what I'm doing now. So I probably owe art education my life.
My God.
Any writer of any age wants to see their story, shown as either a play or a TV show or a movie. I mean, that's a huge honor.
Oh yeah, there's so many things you can give a tooth fairy. Let me give you some examples. Yeah. You give me a thimble of thread, a thimble of thread, maybe a little piece of a black tire, maybe some marbles and stuff you never know. Ooh, yeah.
I think that if you empower a child, especially in elementary school, with a complete passion for the English language, you're setting up sort of the building blocks for the whole rest of the game plan. It really plays out in this really incredibly important way.
Do not go.
The best part about it is honestly seeing the kid afterwards. Seeing his just ridiculous, beautiful face, as he's just telling how he came up with it and everything else. It's just great. This is real. These are real kids writing real stories and getting great joy out of it.
Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin Salka, and I'm the CEO of Story Pirates. We are an education and media company, and if you didn't gather from the video, what we do is we bring together some of the best actors and teachers and comedians in the world with some of the most creative educators, and we put them together to create real collaborations with kids. And we put these things up in theaters, and we create videos online, and we have a show on Sirius XM radio, and we work in hundreds of schools. And our goal is to not make education like a little bit more fun or like a little less boring. What we're trying to do is to blow kids' minds. And we're trying to show kids the purpose of education itself, which we believe is to foster creativity and to create an innate desire to learn. The goal is to create the most engaging program that honors kids' own words and ideas and gives them a genuine understanding of what learning really, really means. So, for example, you're a 7-year-old and you've written an original story, and someone gives that story to Jon Stewart and the cast of The Daily Show, and they perform it on a Broadway stage. That's what I get to do for a living. So, rather than talk too much about Story Pirates, I thought that it would be fun today to show you a little bit of it live. We brought some members of the Story Pirates here. So here's the Story Pirates, and they're going to do a couple of numbers for you here. What you're about to see are stories that are actually written by kids and adapted by the Story Pirates. So here we go. Take it away.
Good morning! Good morning! Whoa, okay, fine, I believe you. Calm down. Hello, we're the Story Pirates. As you already heard, I won't repeat it. We're going to perform a couple stories for you right now that were written by actual children. They are amazing, and I'm going to stop talking and get straight into it. This first story is incredible. It was written by a 3rd grader from Chicago, Illinois. His name is Ray Russell, and this story is called The Day I Got My Head Stuck in a Bar Stool. Okay. So this one time, when I was 3 years old, I saw my dog, Snickers. Hey, Snickers! I saw her stick her head in between the legs of a bar stool. Snickers, what are you even doing? That is the weirdest, the craziest, the most ridiculous thing that I have ever felt like trying. I thought, hey, that looks like a lot of fun. Maybe I should stick my head in that bar stool. What do you guys think? What? What? I can't hear you. Only my head got stuck. Mom screamed. Dad pulled me out. Why you? And he said, why would you do what a dog does? Why would you do what a dog does? Why would you do what a dog does? It's just plain dumb. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum.
So dumb!
Oh, I hate it when my parents chastise me through song! Well, after that I was feeling a little bit silly, so I went into the kitchen to get myself a feel-better snack. And there was Snickers. She was eating her doggy food out of her doggy bowl. Ugh! What even is that stuff? That looks like mud mixed with dirt, mixed with mashed potatoes, and all sorts of incredibly tasty looking things. But hey, Snickers likes that dog food. Maybe I should try the dog food. What do you guys think? What? Dad pulled me out. Why you? And he said, why would you do what a dog does? Why would you do what a dog does? Why would you do what a dog does? It's just plain dumb. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum.
So dumb!
Oh, Mom and Dad! I don't know why I do what a dog does, but apparently I do what a dog does. So right then and there, I made a vow to myself. I said, self, I promise you I will never, ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, ever again in the history of time do what a dog does! 2 seconds later, I went into the bathroom to splash some water on my face, and there was Snickers. And she was lifting up the toilet seat with her head. And then she started to drink the toilet water right out of the toilet bowl. Oh, you are the grossest dog on earth. I would never do something so disgusting, unhygienic, deplorable, and completely. I am going to drink that toilet water. I'm not even going to ask you, except that I am. Should I drink that toilet water? Mom screamed. Dad pulled me out. Why you? And he said, why would you do what a dog does? Why would you do what a dog does? Why would you do what a dog does? For your sake, one more Why would you do what a dog does? Why would you do what a dog does? It's just plain dumb. Yeah. The end.
Thank you, guys. I thought I was the best part of that story, too. Let me put your fears to rest. There will be absolutely no ninjas in the next story that
You can probably tell by my sweet moves, I am indeed a ninja. But this story is not about me. This story was written by a 5th grader from CES 73 in the Bronx. Her name is Karina Rodriguez. And this story is The Kung Fu Fighting Ninja Girls! Kung Fu Fighting Ninja Girls!
Ninjas.
Now, each of the girls have their own individual powers, but they're all trained in the martial arts.
Hi-ya! Yeah! Whoa! Whoa! Yeah! 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 Yeah!
You'll wake Juliana!
Oops, my bad.
Let's meet the girls. First of all, there's Jasmine.
But you can call me Jazzy.
Jazzy has the ability to look into the future, so she knows when and where evil will strike next.
Hold up! In 5 seconds, something evil is going to happen right there!
Right here, while it's... Oh, she's an adorable dog with long, beautiful hair.
Give me your Kindle!
Ah!
Kung Fu Fighting Ninja Girls!
Jazzy!
Hey, Jazzy, do you need help taking out this trash?
Do your thing, Jennifer!
That's Jennifer. Jennifer has superhuman strength. She can lift anything without breaking a sweat.
Or a nail.
Kung Fu Fighting Ninja Girls!
Jennifer!
Now, the next ninja girl is the Jade. The Jade has the power of invisibility, and she can make herself and anyone around her invisible with her invisibility force field.
You bet I can!
Wait, who said that? I don't see anybody.
Oh yeah, I forgot! Yeah! I was invisible!
Awesome! Kung Fu Fighting Ninja Girls!
The Jade.
Now the final ninja girl of the bunch is Juliana. Now you might think Juliana's not important because she's just an infant. But if you thought that, you would be wrong. You would be very wrong. Because Juliana, when she cries, her tears are so big, they can flood all of Los Angeles with cold salty water. That's how big her tears are!
You'll make Juliana cry.
Ooh, my bad.
Kung Fu Fighting Ninja Girls! Juliana!
Let's get back to the action. It was a dark and stormy night! And Jazzy was up having a midnight snack.
Ooh, cream of cauliflower and pixie sticks. Great! Jazzy, what you doing? Oh, just having a midnight. Sharzy. Sure.
Jazzy, I was having the weirdest dream about this sponge.
Hold up! In 15 minutes, a monster is going to attack northern LA!
Hey, it sounds like someone is having a vision down here.
Someone is having a vision down here.
Hold up! In 14 minutes, a monster is going to attack northern LA!
Oh, girls, then we better get to northern LA. On the triple. Power up! Kung Fu Fighting Ninja Girls! Northern LA. Oh, look, that's the building where I had my audition for Victorious.
Ooh.
No, girls, that's the monster. Get inside my invisibility force field.
I just saw iCarly at the IHOP by the IKEA.
Ooh.
So I ate her! I sure hope there aren't any Kung Fu Fighting Ninja Girls close by.
Oh, it's working. He can't see us.
Like those right there!
Oh no, the monster can see invisible things.
Don't worry, girls. I'll take care of this with my super strength. New plan.
Okay, let's make baby Juliana cry.
Oh yeah, her tears will wash away the monster!
Okay. Baby Juliana, your hair is messy.
Baby Juliana, Juliana! Pacifiers are out!
Baby Juliana, your diaper is messy.
Oh, it's not working. I guess we'll have to take on the monster ourselves. Narrator!
Yes,
Will you hold the baby?
it would be an honor.
Certain defeat on 3, ladies. 1, 2,
3.
Certain defeat.
So in the face of certain defeat, the Ninja Girls attacks their nemesis. Oh, Juliana, gaze upon the brave deeds your sisters do this day. Oh, look, Juliana's crying.
Her tears are washing away the monster.
And us! You girls, form a human chain!
Form a human chain, hold on.
Jennifer, what happened to your voice?
Oh, it's just bronchitis.
Oh, look, the water, it has receded.
Wow, it looks like another successful victory for the Kung Fu Fighting Ninja Girls!
Kung Fu Fighting Ninja Girls! Successful victory. I think it's a very, very successful victory. Ninja Girls are punching it out. The end.
All right, one more time for the story, Pirates.
These guys get up every morning of the week, and they wake up at 5 a.m. and they go into low-income schools without adequate arts resources, and this is what they do for these kids. And they do it for almost nothing, and I'm so grateful to them. And thank you guys for coming out here today. So we're all creative professionals here. And as creative professionals, we lament how our culture systematically kills creativity and that we need to save kids before it's too late. But if you think about it, kids aren't really the ones that need saving. We are, right? What I want to talk about today is a cliche that comes up a lot in our line of work. And the cliche is that teachers and parents and artists can learn as much from kids as we teach them. It's an awesome idea, but it's a cliche, right? It's not like actually true. We don't like learn actual knowledge from kids. They don't teach us math. We're talking about something else, I think, actually, when we say that we learn as much from kids as we teach them. We're sort of getting at a larger truth. And I think that what the truth is that we're getting at is that kids have the power to inspire us. They have the power to help us do one of the hardest things in the world for a grown-up, which is to see the world through fresh eyes. The give and take of the learning process, if we're open to it, is that while we teach kids knowledge, they help us unlearn ours. You know, it sounds paradoxical, so like it must be true. And it sort of feels like, in spite of all of our experience and children's lack of it, kids seem to know something that we don't. It feels that way. It's like it's something that we used to know that we sort of lost along the way. And we don't even know exactly what it is. That's how much we've lost it. But we know that it's there because when we look at kids, we get a glimpse of it. We can feel it. You know, it's fleeting, but we can feel it for a second. I want to share a quote with you from Buckminster Fuller, who's, I think, one of the geniuses of the 20th century. He said, what usually happens in the education process is that the faculties are dulled, overloaded, stuffed, and paralyzed, so that by the time most people are mature, they have lost their innate capabilities. So what I'd like to do is tell you a story. And it's a story of what I think it means to really learn from kids. It's the story of how my life changed forever when I started really listening to kids and involving them in a creative process in a genuine way. And I should warn you, the story is chronological, but it's not one series of events. It's a bunch of random, possibly disconnected events. But bear with me, because when I connected the dots, they all added up to this big, big revelation. In the end, everything I thought I knew was wrong. Everything I knew about running a creative business, everything I thought I knew about kids, about education, and even about childhood itself was wrong. So I was 26 years old, and I gave up a promising and, I can promise you, more lucrative career, working in the commercial film industry, making big, stupid movies. And I wanted to do something big with my life, but I wanted to do something big that mattered. And I was already starting to feel a little bit of that dulling that Buckminster Fuller talks about. And so when Lee Overtree, my partner at the Story Pirates, and a few of our other colleagues approached me and said, we want to start this thing, it didn't take me 10 seconds to realize I wanted to devote my life to it. I sort of had this feeling that among all of the millions of reasons to do Story Pirates, that maybe kids themselves were the antidote to this dulling. You know? That the authenticity of children's imaginations can help us as adults like peel back the layers of crap that our quote-unquote educations have put on us. And, you know, I thought maybe it would like make me more curious and help me rediscover a sense of play, and maybe even slow that crazy acceleration of time that seems to just get worse and worse as we get older. So that was my wish list, and it was a modest one. And if any of those things had actually happened, then it would be amazing and I could end the story right here. But that's not what happened at all. What actually happened is that Story Pirates almost failed immediately. We have over 200 actors and teachers and puppeteers and administrators today, between our branch here in New York, where we started 8 years ago, and in Los Angeles, where we recently opened a new branch. And we have partnerships with Penguin Books and the Museum of Natural History and Google. But back in 2004, our marketing expenses were $250 a week, and our income was zero. And after a few months, it just, the dream almost didn't happen. And I realized all of a sudden that nothing that I'd learned in my fancy film career had prepared me for what it feels like to run a grassroots organization, the scrappy mentality that you have to have in order to make it work. And I was terrified. I was in over my head. What saved us were two books. Lee probably remembers. I made him read them. It was Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point and Seth Godin's Purple Cow. They're amazing books. And all I can tell you is that I was so desperate that I read them with a veracity that I never felt a single time I read a book in school. Not totally true. When I first learned how to read, I read the entire Babysitter's Club series at once. But these two books were a close second. It was really, really incredible, and it filled me up, and it gave us a fresh start, and it gave us millions of ideas. And I wrote like not a business plan, but like a business manifesto. And for the next several years, the Story Pirates experimented with everything. We tried anything and everything to figure out what worked and what didn't, and it worked. Between 2005 and now, we've doubled in almost every single way you can imagine. And it's been incredible. This year, we will receive 20,000 stories written by kids created because of the Story Pirates. Mostly submitted to us from kids in low-income Title I schools without anyone telling them that their words and ideas matter. And the stories that they write us are incredible. And I should also mention that we write a thorough, thoughtful, and positive comment on every single one of those stories before we give them back. And if you want to get involved in Story Pirates, we need help on that. And if you think your company might want to get involved or might want to sponsor Story Pirates, that's a great way to start. And one final plug while I'm on the subject, our big benefit is coming up on May 19th. And you can find one of the Story Pirates producers, anyone in a Story Pirates shirt, there's several of us here, after the show, and they can give you some more info. One of the major things we experimented with in that time was teaching writing workshops. Our shows, our programs, I should say, are a combination of shows, a little bit of what you saw here today, and writing workshops. And what can I say? It is one thing to put on a show for kids with some of the funniest people in New York and LA and get kids excited about it. It is an entirely other thing to go into a classroom with a blackboard and actually try to teach writing skills. It is much harder to make that as exciting. And it wasn't easy for us. It took a long time to figure it out. And there's no book like The Tipping Point that I've found that gives you the easy answer. You know, I went to Borders Books, which at the time still existed. And you know, there's like a tiny little section for education compared to like the aisle for marketing. And you know, we had to figure it out from scratch. I do remember reading one book that had just like a nugget of wisdom that still sort of really stuck with me. It's a book called Made to Stick. It's a little bit of a sort of pop book, but it had this one thought in it that I just love. It's called The Curse of Knowledge. And what the curse of knowledge is, what it states, is that once you learn something, it is almost impossible to remember what it's like to not know it. And it turns out to be a huge problem for teaching, because remembering what it feels like to not know it and explain it in those terms, it's really hard. I think it's an incredible idea, and it's changed the way I think that I listen to people, because you can't assume that people have the same assumptions that you have. In any case, our biggest problem at Story Pirates wasn't clarity, it was engagement. We wanted our programs to be the most We wanted them to be the most exciting. We wanted them to grab kids and change their lives. And the answer came in this frenzy of excitement after years of smart people putting their heads together and trying to figure this thing out, how to make the show, the workshops as exciting as the show. And I'm almost embarrassed to tell you the idea, because it's one of those things in retrospect that sounds like so simple that, like, why on earth didn't you think of that before? But here goes. The answer to making the workshops, the teaching, as good as the show was to make them more like the show. I know. But until that point, we were trying to reinvent the feeling of the show without using the ingredients of the show. And I can't really explain to you why that didn't seem obvious to us, but it really, really didn't. And the second that we did that, we stole the best two ingredients from the show. One, the show is made up of stories that are presented by great actors and puppets. We put that in the classroom. And the second is that the show is based on a collaboration with kids where their own words and ideas are given a status beyond what they're normally given by adults. Once we put those two things in the classroom, and I wish I could describe our workshops, but I'm running out of time, and that's a talk for another time, it really was magical. I mean, it was transformative. The kids got so excited to be learning, and it wasn't just exciting because it was fun. It was exciting because it worked better. Like, they literally were learning more because of it. And the teachers were coming to us, and they were saying, this is amazing. Like, this is great for creative writing, but there's any chance you could apply this to, like, technical elements of writing, like grammar? Or, like, could you teach persuasive essays? Or could you teach science or social studies? Because we need help on that stuff. And the answer was yes. We can totally do that. And now we teach all those subjects in schools. We're getting kids crazy excited about stuff that, like, I couldn't even comprehend when I was a kid. Make the workshops more like the show. Duh. And with that, like, little simple shift in perspective, we started blowing kids' minds. And there's this incredible thing that happens when you invent something, especially with a group of people, that starts to succeed. It's hard to describe, but there's a convention that happens in movies that is this thing, where, like, the young, like, rising star finally makes it big and starts getting invited to all the parties, and, like, everything goes in slow motion. And, like, everyone's high-fiving, and it's awesome. That's what it felt like a lot of the time in this period where we were inventing all this stuff with Story Pirates and coming up with new solutions to old problems. And then inevitably, everything sped back up again. And the popularity started to make us too busy, and we didn't have enough staff, and we were overwhelmed. And then we figured that out. We created better systems, and we made the company run better, and we settled into a routine, and we didn't feel in over our heads anymore, and we started to feel more confident. And then inevitably, the confidence gave way to the dullness again. And I got so mad at myself. I'm like, what is the matter with you? Like, you did it. You did what you wanted. You are now spending your life listening to kids' stories. They are inspiring you. What's not working? Why isn't it, like, transferring to you? This childlike quality that you're seeking. Why do you still feel old? And then it hit me. The curse of knowledge is real. It's like, it's not something you just need to be mindful of when you're communicating. It's really real. Once you know something, once you've learned it, you can't unlearn it. That's what your brain is there for. That's what it's doing. And I got obsessed with reading about neuroscience recently. And that camp is saying the same thing. You know? They're saying that the like very purpose of the brain is to know the world around you and memorize it and internalize it. And they think it's a good thing. You know, they think it's the reason why you don't have to relearn how to walk upstairs every time you do it. Or why when you go to the doctor, they don't need to go to Wikipedia to diagnose you. So maybe Buckminster Fuller didn't have it totally right. What if the enemy isn't learning or mastery? It's the complacency that naturally results when you deem yourself having mastered something. I had this like little thought, you know, that like little thought a couple of months ago. You know, it was just like this like fleeting thing, this minor thing, and then, whoa, like all of a sudden I literally felt dizzy, and I didn't know why. And it's like the world turned upside down, and then it turned upside down again. And I'm not being hyperbolic, like the world changed color. I started to see everything with like more color or more clarity, and I still have it here today. I was wrong about the whole thing. It's not about unlearning anything. It's about more learning. It's about way, way, way more learning. Curiosity and creativity and discovery and wonder. I didn't used to feel those things when I was young because I was young and I hadn't learned. I felt those things when I was young because I spent all of my time trying to figure the world out. Curiosity, creativity, discovery, and wonder, they aren't traits of youth, they're traits of learning. And if you want to feel younger and you want to replicate the conditions of youth, do that. Don't replicate the qualities. It's the same lesson of the workshops and the show. And that's how learning works. That's it. It's this slow process of accumulation, and it starts with something that you think you know. And gradually, you have these new experiences which make you more curious. And you take little bits and pieces of them, and even if they don't feel connected, you put them together and you weigh them against each other. And you constantly see if they confirm or deny one another. And once in a while, something that seemed so true gets overturned by something that seems even truer. That is so awesome. And it's just this like one little shift in perspective. And then there's this domino effect, this cascade where everything in the world, one at a time, starts to look different. Curiosity doesn't look to me like a quality anymore. It looks like a result. Creativity doesn't look like a talent. It looks like what all humans do when they want to figure something out enough that they solve a problem that hasn't been answered. And discovery looks like the moment that happens when creativity works, and wonder looks like that thing that happens when you realize that the new discovery was there all along, just waiting for you to add it up. So I don't know what the next revelation is going to be. I'm really excited about it. For some reason, I keep clipping articles these days about 13-year-olds who have founded their own successful internet businesses and are competently running multi-million-dollar companies. This is like happening. And I saw this talk recently by Salka, who I think is an educational genius, and he revealed that because there are college-level math courses now online for free for anyone, there has been a spike worldwide in the number of 9-year-olds who have mastered PhD-level math. Now, there's always been prodigies, but I think that this is something new. I think it's something different. I think something fundamental is shifting. And I think that because of the internet, it is so much easier to become curious and to learn and to create than it ever has before in human history. And I think there are huge ramifications for what it means to learn from kids. Because I think I was wrong about that too. I suspect that kids are now and have always been way more capable than we have ever imagined. And we are about to find out how much. And I can promise you that the Story Pirates will be there helping these kids make that leap. And as for myself and my wish list of life improvements, I'm getting in way over my head these days. I am hurling myself into new journeys, and I am no longer flattering myself that it's my knowledge that's making me dull. And after 8 years of teaching, I am learning more than I ever have before, and I can promise you that I have never, ever felt younger in my life. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Tina.
Let's take maybe 10 minutes for questions, and can you repeat the question after the end?
Sure. Questions? Okay, I think we're done.
How can we see you?
Can you see
How
me?
can we hire you? Like what
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of...
yeah. So we have these producers, these amazing, talented producers who put together hundreds and hundreds of programs every year, and they are in the audience. You guys want to stand up, the producers, and just show yourselves? There you go, right there. That's the group. If you want to know more about Story Pirates, find me, find them. My partner Lee is here. There's lots of Story Pirates, and up there as well. We do birthday parties. That is true. April 5th After Dark. We do a show once a month for grown-ups only. It's exactly like the show that we do for kids, except everyone is wasted. "92nd Street Y, Tribeca." At 7 o'clock. Any other questions? Yes?
You mentioned that you get 20,000 submissions, story submissions, and that's through educational institutions. Is there any chance that a child can submit a story outside of the educational?
Thank you so much for asking that. Yes, we do a show every Saturday at 2 p.m., one in New York, one in Los Angeles, and anyone can submit a story. And the best part is that it is not a contest. If you know a kid who wants to submit a story, we will do it. So go to storypirates.org, submit a story through our website, and we will have a producer contact you, and we'll set it up. Any kid can see their story done by the Story Pirates. Follow-up question.
So when you receive the story, is it translated as it was written, or is it embellished to create a more holistic production?
Yep. We call it a collaboration. It is a real collaboration between kids and adults. Having said that, we are very, very faithful to the stories. We add jokes and we try to make each other laugh, but the essence of what we do is try to preserve author intent. That's really, really important to us. The question is this a one-off event for the kids? The answer is sometimes, and sometimes it's more. We have some programs in schools that are a one-off visit. A kid can come see our show one time, but we also have very deep dive programs where we're in the school for a year. We're working with kids on a weekly or sometimes even daily basis, and we're even working with teachers to help them tell better stories in their classrooms. We're funded any way that we can get funding. We work with grant makers. We have a lot of private donors. We do very well with parents. We have a lot of 20 and 30-somethings who support the work that we do, and even if they don't have a ton of money, come to our After Dark events, help us sell out our benefit once a year. If you want more info on getting involved in that, see one of our producers here. That's we love our fans to get involved and be on the inside. The expiration date of a child. We work with toddlers, we work with elementary schoolers, we work with high school students. We have college-level interns, and we treat that as a teaching experience. And we've even worked with elderly people who write stories about their lives. So we are equal opportunity storytellers, but the sweet spot for us is elementary school, middle school, and high school. Do we have a vision to expand beyond the coasts? We have a national tour that goes to about half the country every single year. And I can tell you from having started our Los Angeles troupe that, boy, is that hard. So we're gonna work on nailing that and getting it right. And in the meantime, what we're doing is we're spending a lot more of our time and resources creating digital assets so that kids all over the world can access Story Pirates anywhere. Thank you guys so much. I think that's it. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. How fantastic was that? Oh my. Okay. Thank you so much, Jamie, and the entire team. Seriously, that you all came. This is, yeah. You should have seen me back there. I had a smile going from ear to ear. Next month is Simon Sinek. If you don't know who he is, Google him. He gave a TED Talk. He's quite something, quite inspiring person. So Simon Sinek on April 20th, again here at Galapagos Art Space. And as usual, go to creativemornings.com. You can watch all the talks from all the other 24 chapters around the world. And thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting us. And grab Scout books on the way out if you haven't yet. And maybe send a tweet to thank them. Bye.